Welcome everyone. Welcome to another Vwaza session. Today we are going to be talking about building your artist brand, and we have an expert on the subject, Mr. Oreowula Peters, also known as MR.ROLLOUT, and he specializes in branding for artists and whenever they're rolling out music projects. So I'm really hoping that we can learn a lot, because I know that a lot of us struggle with branding. We think that just releasing our music is good enough. But nowadays, you really have to put in work and be strategic on how you can stand out. So without saying too much, I am going to allow him to introduce himself. My name is Pokani Kaunda. I'm the artist relationship manager for Vwaza. I'm also an artist who goes by the name Kim of Diamonds. So without further ado, I am going to give the floor to Mr. Oreowula Peters. And remember, everybody, you can always drop your questions in the message section of this chat, or you can raise your hand and we can give you a moment. Mr. Peters, please introduce yourself. How did you get into branding? What are some of the things that got you interested in really focusing in this niche?
My name is Oreowula Peters. So Oreowula means gift from God, offering from God in the Yoruba language. So I believe that I'm a gift to the industry. I'm a gift to the world, and I have put that as the central thing of my life and purpose. And yeah, it's been a journey for me. I've been 13 years in this business. I started quite early in the university, which is like a tertiary institution here, the high institution over here. I started as a blogger back in the days where blogs, were still on like websites. Started that while I was in university. Then went into a bit of print. Started a magazine called The Scene. The Scene was a magazine about the community of what the culture that was happening around us. We had a couple of upcoming artists and different things happening in the culture, in fashion, in music, and on. And a couple of my roommates came together and we set that up. And then it gave birth to a cover, Burna Boy's first cover, which is on a magazine, and a whole couple of other people which were not given that spotlight by the mainstream media, if I must say. And then I proceeded to other things. I left uni, decided to work a bit in advertising, and then I decided to also delve into journalism myself. I was head of pop culture at a platform called Ninja. There I did amazing things, and then decided, I don't want to write about superstars. I want to make them. I want to help guide the careers of stars from Africa, because at the time I believe that I would say talent wasn't the problem for Africa. We had amazing artists. You had Shaka Khan. You had Fela. You had Brenda Fassie and all of that. But it was the presentation. How do you ensure that they stayed in the room, and even when they leave, they can leave a legacy that is not just only about just words, but actual wealth and value that can be passed on to the next generation. So I did that, and while doing that, I managed artists like Tenny the Entertainer, a couple of other producers. I managed a guy called Fresh VDM. He produced Davido's Fire. He was part of the DMW's group, Fire, Ajay, and a couple of other ones. Also, this management company had clients like Dice Isles, a couple of other notable people too. You can check more about me on is the link on my bio on Instagram or on my social media platforms to check more about what I have done. And now I currently have an agency called MR.ROLLOUT, which people refer to me as, and that came from my love of, as I said, presentation, branding. How do we, because as I said, problem sometimes is how to present ourselves effectively and functionally, that we can attract the audience and attract corporate organizations to be able to fuel that financially, and also by association it will give us that brand equity, because most times they don't take people in the creative industry very serious. They look at us as just people to provide mere entertainment. But to be honest, if we treat ourselves as entities, we will be bigger than that to them, and we can provide ample value. So yes, that's a bit of my story. And so far, thank you.
I'm so excited to be having this conversation with you because I see your social media is always full of tips and guidance on how artists can really brand themselves better for better opportunities. So you've mentioned that you've been in the industry for 13 years. What are some of the ways that you have seen Africans branding themselves changing within this 13 years? What are some of the exciting things you've seen more African artists doing? And what are some of the things that you used to have an issue with when you used to see certain African artists doing in regards to branding themselves?
I mean, I've seen a lot of artists come and go. Like, and that's the thing. I don't know if it's popular saying across the world, but in Nigeria we say soldier come, soldier go, the barracks remains. It's the same thing with artists. Artists come, artists go, the industry remains, and even same thing like the execs come, execs go, the industry will forever not change. You understand? So I've seen a lot of artists, go up and go down. And the thing is, as I mentioned earlier, talent gives you keys into the room. It gives you a seat at the table. But what keeps you there is branding. What keeps you in the room, what keeps you relevant is branding. You don't want to be as valuable as your next hit. You want to be as valuable as your personality, as who you are. And I've seen a couple of artists, I mean, like notable brands I can mention, across board. You mentioned people like Sarkodie in Ghana. I'm talking about, that one Sarkodie song. In Nigeria, we have Davido, Wizkid, Burna. These people are bigger than just one song. They are bigger. Yes, when you say, I want to go to a Wizkid concert, it's not just, I want to hear that one particular Wizkid song, or I want to hear that particular Davido song. I want to experience who David is. And most people don't understand that music is an emotional product. What you're selling is emotions. And it's not just even in the sound, it's even in the visuals, it's even what this thing means, what your name means to people. And that. So I've seen a couple of artists that have done fantastic things with their brands, even across board. Diamond Platinum is what he means to the the East African people. And when I mean East African, because he has definitely gone, learned a couple of things from here and across the continent and taken it back home and built something substantial for his industry to grow. Now he has a TV station, he has a radio station, he has a record label, he has a production company, and that has allowed, now he's bigger than just one hit. It's not just about one hit, it's not about the next Diamond Platinum, it's about being a recognizable name. And you see, I mean, I don't know if any of you heard of one of the artists, getting married to another popular person in Nigeria, and how that was being promoted and marketed. Everything, especially when you're popular, when you're into mainstream, everything's a rollout. So yeah, that's a little bit of my answer. I hope I was able to give some context.
You did, and that ties us into the next part of the conversation. For example, our audience is really emerging artists. A lot of us are competing with people who have money, who have networks and connections. So maybe we can start breaking down what branding means for us music creatives, especially the emerging stage. Let's get into maybe the tenets that make music branding and what some of the artists here can start doing to build their branding. Is it just having a logo? Is it just having a good Instagram feed? Is it just having nice pictures and visuals? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to share my screen now with the presentation I've prepared. So I hope we're ready for the ride. Thank you, guys. I prepared this. It's called Building Your Artist Brand, a practical guide for emerging music creatives, presented by me. And yeah, but to start, as I said, I've introduced myself, a little bit of my intro, but yeah, I'm a Nigerian brand architect. I'm a co-founder of DSC Africa. So DSC Africa is a talent management company I was telling you guys about, but also I'm the creative lead at MR.ROLLOUT, which is a brand and creative project management agency. I'm also a consultant at the agency. So I've worked with global brands like Spotify, Tena, Moe, and Shandon. And as I said, the agency is there to help artists and creatives build impactful brands. But as I said, being someone that has spent a long time in the industry, I've been able to see the industry from a 360 view. So I'm in a very unique spot. Being in different areas in the industry is beyond branding. It's using creativity to to provide solutions in the entertainment and creative industry at large. So why does this topic matter to every emerging artist? Because every day, like, there are so many artists now, especially because people feel like, being an artist is quick money, or it's a way to get out of the hood, or it's the way to get fame. And that's why one thing I always ask people, I mean, we'll get to that, is what exactly, and you have to be honest with yourself. Why exactly do you want to come into music? Why do you want to do this? We'll get to that aspect, because it is important, as saturated as the music industry is, as it looks like there's a lot of money, which there is, but only a few people can access that huge life-changing opportunities and money. So you need to have a strong, clear brand. It's very important to have a clear brand that can help set you apart, even without a big budget. And it's shocking that you can do it without having a big budget. There are many artists that have done without a big budget, and one of those artists is who I would use as a case study today, which I work closely with. So what is branding really? Some people think it's logos. I mean, I would like to ask one person to tell me, what do they think branding is? Just, or two people, what you guys think branding is. I mean, different people have different things. Some people think it's logos, some people think it's how you look, some people think it's the clothes, some people think it's, okay, I have somebody who wants to say something. Please, if not, fine, you can talk.
Go ahead.
Yes, please, if you can tell me what you think branding is.
All right. I think branding is your professional presentation of your personality and what you have to offer on a stage, or like it's basically your official, it's your official portfolio of yourself. It's basically a physical portfolio, CV rather, of who you are, without necessarily having to maybe have it on a piece of paper or something. Branding is how you decide to project yourself to anybody and everybody in a way that they know who you are without you having to necessarily say anything.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else?
All right. Thank you. So I think branding is what comes to people's mind when they hear your name.
Okay.
Yeah. So sort of. So it's something that you can be intentional about, because if you don't tell your story right, then others will tell it in however way that they feel like. So I feel like in an ideal world, it's how you can, whatever you can try to do in order to achieve that type of image that you want people to perceive whenever they hear your name or product.
Okay. I mean, everyone is, you're correct. To be honest, I mean, if you have anything, just drop it in the comment section so that we can move the class along. But to be honest, it's all everything you guys said. Brand is about perception. It's about storytelling. And most people feel, it's just about visual. Also, there's branding in sonics, in the sound. There's certain sounds that you just know, this is a Timbaland beat, this is a Davido song, this is, there's certain things that they put in their music, or mannerisms, or different things, that can, just something that, how can you stay in the memory of your intended audience or your target audience? As I said, it's about perception and storytelling. It's how people feel about when your name comes up. When somebody says Brenda Fassie, there's a way South Africans feel. They say Mama Africa, they feel like she was the Black Madonna. There's a way, and she's worked that hard to do that. When people, over here, you have Whiskey FC, that's the fan group for Whiskey, and you have 30 BGWs, like, the fan group for Davido. When you mention those names, it's the way those two factions, they rise up. There's something that makes them feel. There's an emotion that makes them feel. There's something that makes it memorable. There's something that makes it meaningful. It's like, this artist, what do you mean to people? And Also, you have to be consistent. It goes beyond just logos and aesthetics. It's not about just, oh yeah, what fancy logo or what people sometimes waste time on things like that. All of this have to come together. It has to be cohesive, it has to be clear, and it has to communicate certain things, and also it has to be consistent. So on to the next thing. 4 key areas in creating like a unique identity. We're talking about, first of all, your story, your personality, and your tone. So someone like Davido now, his story is, oh, rich kid, he always tells the story every time in an interview, and people like, oh, we know this about you, but he's re-emphasizing, is making you remember where he's coming from. So story, oh, rich kid, leaves his dad, rebels, and then gets a hit in the music industry, and becomes a man of the people. Even though he has money, he's using that money into philanthropic efforts. He's helping people, and that's pretty much what 30BG is about, and that's how he won people. If you remember the tag phrase for 30BG is, we rise by lifting others. Such a powerful statement that drives people. They can't even tell you, oh, this is why we love Davido, but it's because of his story is well told. His personality, he has this personality where he's always like, that imagine someone that is rich, can afford anything. He's going to be, he's relating to people on the street. He's relating with the street guys, relating with the wealthy guys. You see him with Africa's richest man, which is Dangote. You see him in the hood, with other type of street artists. He's built up that personality, a man for the people, and his tone is energetic. He's free, is authentic, and it sells. Also, when it comes to looks, to talk about someone like Tyler, talk about someone like Tochi, that have a consistent visual style. Someone like Tyler now has this style where it's about being young, and also the fact that she's South African, also that place has some cultural identity to it, but it's girly, Y2K-ish, and that helps to communicate something about her and attracts that particular audience that she's trying to get, which is, oh, the young Africans. They need, especially in this generation, they need that, I won't say role model per se, but that figure that they can either aspire to be, or someone that can take charge. Do you understand? And Tyler does that with her looks, and I'm not reducing her to all of that, but it is one of the key strengths of her brand. Also, when it comes to sound and messaging, your lyrics, your visuals, your captions, down to even your captions on your Instagram, everything must align with your identity. Who you are. Look at someone like Rema. Rema says another banger. Like, that is a promise of whatever I drop, know that I have made sure that it's up to standard. And when I set the standard, I will always set the bar. That word, and that's what makes Rema unpredictable. Rema can come today and decide to do gospel, and people will still buy into it. He's telling you that whatever I do, whatever sound, whatever genre, I'm going to promise you that I would not go below standard. And I set the standard. I set the timing. I do everything on my own terms. That is the way he's crafted his sound. And in his own sound, he said, oh, I will always be futuristic, and I will carry the culture on my back in my sound, regardless of how the sound evolves. Also, so when it comes to community, now you have to understand your target audience. It's very, very important for you to know, oh, okay, yes, there are girls like you. What type of girls like you? When it comes to like male artists now, what kind of girls am I singing to? What type of girls do I want to attract? When it comes to the female audience, okay, what type of female audience? Oh, the female artist. What type of females do I want to follow me? What type of what type of men, or what type of male audience, or what is the profession? Like for instance, there's this artist that I'm working with, and she moved back to Nigeria to chase her dreams of becoming an artist. Yeah, but to survive, she has to do 9 to 5. And this relates to, there are many creatives pretty much, or even in this Gen Z generation, and even probably Gen Z generation, that are beginning to, they have those jobs there. Some are 9 to 5, some are doing freelance, but they are reaching that age where they need that stability, and some are looking for that. Now she, with trying to position her to be that person that can relate to that, the hustle of balancing your hobby or your passion with your 9 to 5 life, and now we're going to use that to build a relationship with those people. It's not even about being viral, it's to find those people and now building a community. And there are different ways to build a community: through your Instagram, through your TikTok, through your, and then you now take those people, anybody that has commented, you see your people that are frequently doing this, and then you're able to funnel them through. Either you put them on a WhatsApp group, or you put Telegram, or you do Instagram, and then you have that online, and then you can now do maybe small link ups, some meetups. Like I remember there's an artist called Rutti, Rutti. You can check her out on Instagram. Even when she does events, fan link ups or fan exit, she does not even sing. They paint, because that is pretty much who she is. They do like paint and save. She'll paint, and that's how she connects to that community. She's found her own people, and she's not in a rush to be viral. I mean, I'm not saying don't chase virality, but everything has to work. It's just like a balanced diet. Everything has to work for each other. I don't know if you guys are following. Up next, how to do it with limited resources. One of my mentors, his name is Godwin Tom. And I mean, if you are not in the program, it's called Music Business for Africa, MBA. I mean, I did that programming back in 2019, and it really changed my life. And why I'm saying this is because there's something profound he used to say. He says there's a particular bad, bad area in Lagos, which is Lagos, Nigeria. It's an area, and in that place, there's no light. Yeah. If your car breaks down there, pretty much anybody passing is not going to help you, because they don't know if you're a thief or if anything. But guess what? Maybe 5 minutes after, or if you maybe like a few miles after, there's like a petrol station where there's a light. But now, so you have to find a way to do everything to get to that petrol station, so somebody can see you and maybe decide to help you. So it brings me down to this: for anybody to see your light, you must have struck a match. You have to find a way to ignite a spark. For people to see you, you can't be screaming for help in the dark. You're going to be asking, where are you? Where are you? They don't know. You don't even, if you want to harm me, you understand. You have to strike a match. And this is how you find that. This is how you do it. Because I was like, I need a team, I need a manager, I need this. But you don't yet even have, you're still raw, you're still the diamond in the dirt. People might not, they might still see dirt. You need to at least polish yourself, like dust off the dust. Dust off the diamond a bit, so they can see a little sparkle. It might not be the end product. I mean, a gold or diamond, it's not valued until people see it in jewelry or different things. You get. So number one, you have to find yourself. First of all, what moves me? What do I want to say? Who do I want to be with this music? What exactly is what I'm trying to do? Inner clarity is very, very important, and you have to be very, very honest with yourself. Because with whatever occupation in life, you have to be ready to grind it out. And purpose and you knowing yourself would help you do that. Next, I mean, it will help you do that when the days where you're pretty low, where everything feels like this thing is not working. That is what is going to keep you going. Secondly, you have to get clear on what you want. What's your message? What's your mood? What's your mission? Strip it down to the raw essence. Like, you have to be honest with yourself. Clarity, very important. Next, pay attention to what you are drawn to. Okay, now because I always say I tell people, study patterns, and study projects. So projects is like, study music projects, study because now the bigger artists have teams and all of that to help them. So study what they do and take something from there. So use Pinterest boards, save IG posts, check out music influences, colors. It could be someone's look, it could be their vibe, it could be quotes, it could be, it could be their mood. These are breadcrumbs. Like, all of these things all build up to something. Pay attention to what you're doing to. And there's something strong. I'm not saying I'm a spiritual person per se, but like there's something about the universe that especially when it's pushing you to your vision, you have to pay attention. You have to be self-aware enough to know that, okay, when something picks you up and something comes up, something interesting, like, oh, I saw this thing about this person. I saw it, pay attention. And then, you're able to use all of this to be able to build yourself. Now, you now need to refine the identity. All of these things now, you've got into this stage. You now need to test things. I built up all of these things from the scientific method, which has observation. You have your observation, you have your hypothesis, you have your theory, you have all these other things. That's where all of these things, because those are basic principles that apply with every industry. So now you have to test things. You have to keep, what feels aligned. Test things. What when you've tested, you have to experiment. You find that this thing works, this thing not work. Okay, take remove that. Add what works, and let go of the rest. Now you just have to make consistent choices that align with your aesthetic, how you post, how you dress, how you speak, and also share that process. You have to share that process and that's how you build community. People want to see progress. Everybody likes progress. Everybody likes everybody likes a 0 to hero story, and that's one good thing that Africans, especially before even you get to the world, Africans love. Africans love, this person, like they when they see efforts, they love to, like I said, you've pushed your car from that place where there's no light. And when you're telling the story, it makes the story sweet. It's like, I've been pushing nobody saw me when I was pushing the light. This is what I faced. Maybe you fought a lion. You don't remember before you got to that presentation, you might have fought a lion. You can, and the amazing thing is you can tell the story any way you like. If you want to lie, if they catch you, great. But the thing is, it's good, sweet, good old storytelling. So yeah, that's how you do it with limited resources. Next, this incredible artist I started working with. So her name is Winnie Adanu. She's from the northern part of Nigeria. Yeah. So the northern part is one of the most populous places in Nigeria, and it's a very, very creative place. They have a lot of artists and all of that, and it's a blend because it's a place that has some colonial feel to it, so they still have a lot of creative things going on there, and you have such a good industry over there. So this artist, someone talked to me about her. I was like, when I heard this girl sounded like a mix of Rihanna and Coffee. I was like, did they throw Rihanna to Nigeria? Literally, she sounds like that. Very fantastic artist. The same, tone as Rihanna, but there's something exciting about her that I really liked. She's a DIY type of artist. When I mean DIY, do-it-yourself artist, she's very artsy. She knows how to sew. She knows how to design. She knows how to paint. She knows how to cook. She makes jewelries, and she sells them, and she likes alternative fashion, bohemian culture, gypsy culture, very artistic type of artist, and her songs pretty much are centered around love, life, a blend of R&B, soul, but at the base of it, at the foundation of it is reggae and dancehall. That's her big thing, but it's also with a blend of Afrobeats. Those two things are very at the core of her branding. It's very, very important to her. So I met this artist. She came down to Lagos. She was here for 2 years. We worked with her. On building an entrance into the industry while looking to get her signed. With a couple of others. So she had a management. I was brought on as a creative consultant on how to get her into the industry in terms of the strategy and the branding, the look and feel of the brand. So I was able to say all these things that I've said about artists. We're able to channel that. We wanted people to know about her. Before this, she used to drop covers on her page. She took some couple of photos. But yeah, next was, so yeah, we needed to craft a story. This is an artist that we felt was special. And we were like, okay, first of all, we would make sure that this girl is the industry's best kept secret. And when I mean the best kept secret, you would have heard about her at some point. You might have heard the way we would just be telling people about her, playing her music. Before she even gets to Lagos, we would go to the industry, we'll play her music, you know, and all that. Thankfully, she had pushed her car to some point where she was able to see, like, where we were able to see what the special thing that this girl had. So we would tell people about her story and all of that, you know, tell her. So people in the industry knew about her. So, but we had not rolled her out, but they knew about her. We told them her story and all of that. So next, he came up with a sales pitch. Trust me, this girl is I mean Whiskey. I don't mean the artist. Like, this girl is a prodigy. She's next up, and she has a mysterious persona. You know, she's not just, we're not just saying this girl is just in. I mean, I'm not saying this as like she's just an African artist. I'm saying that this girl can be just that artist that can be in Nigeria and blow across the world. You know, that it was the sales pitch to people. We came up with that and said, okay, this is what we'll be telling people. This is, and it's also, by the time they get to our Instagram, this is what they will meet. You know, at the time, I remember we had her change her bio. So I think she had maybe, I don't think she had some like 2 or 3 photos there, but we made sure she changed her bio. We changed it to global citizen. It was, if you go to our page now, you still see it, global citizen. We put that in people's mind already. So when I tell you about her and you go to our page, like, okay, I get the concept, I get what she's trying to go for, you know. But I mean, the music is wow, I know, but we had sold them, to be honest. Step 3, we had to craft the look. We said, okay, you know what? Okay, you're Northern, but we don't want you to be, that girl from Northern Nigeria, but you're inspired by it. You're still going to look like an artist. You're just going to look like, this artist, there's something interesting about her. I can't place it, but there's something interesting about her. So then we decided to identify focus points. We looked at her eyes. We knew that there was something that was very mysterious. It's like the more you look, the more you look. I mean, the more you look, the more you see, kind of, with her, you know. And we're not going to put it so much in your face, but it's going to be there. So we focused on her hair, accessories, her eyes. It was very important that whatever picture we did, there would be things that would point you to this direction. I mean, if you look at these photos, yeah, you would see, hey, you know, even the colors, they were not so bright enough to take so much attention. But you see that this girl was artistic. Everything I said about her in that first page, you are seeing it on these photos, right? You're seeing it. You know, even look at her nails, even down to her nails. Artistic. It's very artistic, and you can see that it's well rounded. The hair has the Rastafarian feel, you know. But we didn't even necessarily want to put that, so we don't put that in a box. And that's most times what people. I mean, you can choose to do that. You can choose to. I want to be reggae. I want to be reggae. I want to be more. But she wanted to be more. That's why it's down to even your own purpose as an artist, what you want to do with your art. So next, we had social media. So when we started rolling her out. When we started rolling out, sorry, let me just post this. So when we started rolling out, we said we wanted to make sure it looked organic. You know, how do we sell this girl across? How do we present her and what she's about without saying too much? We don't want to talk too much. We don't even want her to say a word. We just want to show, because most times it's better when you show. You know, most times it's better visually. Just show rather than tell, because you're talking too much. So mystery. I said that I wanted them to say that she's a musical Whiskey. She could play the guitar, you know. She records her own music and all of that. So we made sure. I mean, you can go to her page and check the real side of it and see all of these things. But this was the first set of videos that we put, first set of content that we put. So musical instruments, natural hair. We made sure that we did a video. So let me play this video. Remember I said that, I wanted to hint. So we were just hinting around her interest and identity. I said she was from Northern Nigeria. What she's singing here, the language she's singing in is in Hausa. Hausa is a language from the Northern Nigeria, the predominant language in Northern Nigeria. So she's done a song and she's like a freestyle. So we put the audio over this this video, and we had some people, people did not even, it was just like, oh, how do you, your hair so long. People started talking about hair. They didn't even know that music. So people talked about, oh, and your house, oh, and all of that. So people were connecting. That's how we were connected to that community. We were hinting. Oh, next up, oh, now the artsy people. Oh, knitting. I told you that she's a very artistic person. Oh, she started, oh, so we did a video where she was, it also had one of us freestyles. Instead, rather than just doing a video where she's freestyling and all of that, rather show what she's about and just mystery. All these points, what do you know? If you notice, let me ask one person. With all these videos, what do you notice? Is there somebody that can answer?
Can I answer? I'm so excited.
Yes,
I
yes,
feel
please.
like there's a sense of mystery. We still have not seen her face. So the
Fantastic.
question is like, who is this person? That's what I've gotten from it. Yeah.
Fantastic, you got it. You got it. I owe you something, but you got it. You got it. Because it was very important. I said mystery. It was very important to sell that. It's like, okay, but it didn't really bother people about that. They were like, oh, interesting. She's knitting, okay. And now the next thing, and we made sure that the songs, the audio was like a soundtrack to whatever she was doing. And next thing you see, oh, art. So she did this, I think it was for Women's Day or something. We had her, she drew stuff and all these things. Funny enough, we just told her we didn't tell her what exactly to do, but we gave her the idea and then she executed herself in her own way. That is why, as an artist, I mean, it's not everybody that has the skills that she has, but it's always good to have something to your advantage. What is that one thing that you can have to your advantage? She shot the video herself. There's people that cannot do this, but you can have a friend that can help you. You can have different, but she knew how to shoot. She knew how to, like, I just like, okay, well, this girl you can, but there's more artists that are not blessed to do that, but you can find a way to ask your friends, just find a way to get your message across and get your interest. Now people are falling in love with her, not just the music now, but people understand who she is. So next up, we released 2 singles. We released a song called Pretty, which is this first one. We released this first one, and then we released a song called Don't Leave Me, and then released the EP. So Pretty was a song about her, literally her talking about who she is, what she is. I mean, you can check check her out, check the visualizer we did. In fact, we didn't call it a visualizer, we said it was a short film. Also, I said words carry something. You can say, or some people say, oh yeah, I'm doing a freestyle. Don't say a video, you can call it something else. You get, and make it matter. You understand? So we said it's short film. Meanwhile, it was a visualizer, but the way we shot those videos, it looked like they played it on TV because it was we shot them in a short film style. We shot it with like minimal, like friends and family. That's what we shot this video. It looked so good, but it took a normal production crew to take them in a day. It took like maybe 2-3 weeks to get this done. But yeah, that's part of the journey. That's what's exciting. I remember sitting with the people that shot the video and people that edited the video. I was, we need to do this. We will Google it, how to do it, how to edit, how to make this light like this. Everything was planned, even with the people that we came across, because they were interested in project, because but actually they could see some potential about her, so I co-directed all of these things. Also, she had so much input into this. She said, I want the cover to be like this. I want this. I want that. Pretty was a song about, who she is, what she's about, where she's coming from. I'm pretty in my own way. She has said that's a song that, somebody would listen. I'm like, oh, okay. And girls will listen to. I'm like, oh, wow. If you look closely at the cover art, you would see that it's a makeup smudge. When you have like makeup on, like girls will know this foundation. If you have foundation and you put it like on it and you smudge it, that's what this gives you. And we made it like a shiny rather than a colorful one. So that's what the visuals and the lyrics meant. It's tallied. It may all made sense. I mean, I said you can check more stuff about her. Look like what you sing. It's very important. I mean, some people, if you know 44 bats, I don't know if you know 44 bats, that's another way to go about it. Like 44 bats has, like, he has this hood on his head and he sings R&B, but you think he's like some drill rapper. But yeah, But it's also so good when you look like what you sing though. But you can also go the other routes. But there's some people that don't even know what they're doing. So yeah, these were some of the results. Like I told you, some people were like, oh, you paint too. Another person like, what can't you do? Someone said the Hausa vocals, which I told you about. And now the EP came out. It was number one R&B and soul top album in Nigeria. Over 1,000 comments. Her songs on EP. And I mean, we did this without her being signed to a major or anything. We just had a little distro deal. Like I said, we before we could even get that distro deal, we had pushed the car to the light a little bit. We started doing some rollout before we could get that. Those things. And this really was not like there was any money or a major money from it. But look at it. Monthly listeners increased by over 100%. Co-sign from top at Omale saw one of these videos and he was losing his mind. Omale was going crazy. Now she has a co-sign. In December, she had a co-sign from Wizkid. Social media followership increased by over 100%. I remember when I met her, it was about like 1,000 people, but now, like massive increase. And now, I said 1 year later, a co-sign from Wizkid. This is an indie artist. It does not even sign to a major label at the beginning of things. So now, this is 2002. This is what she was, at the beginning of things. And now, this is what it's still consistent, right? It's still very consistent. Irregardless, we laid the foundation, and she can evolve from there. She understands that, oh, regardless of how I grow, there's still certain things. It's still artistic. You still see the bangles. She might let go of that, but she'll still be artistic in the way she will express herself. Now she released a project last year, which was called Commercial Break. Was about her doing more commercial songs. The first project was called Winnie. It was more about more introspective songs. This one was more commercial songs. And then she looks like a commercial artist, but like still artistic, still rooted to her core and rooted to her foundation. So yeah, that was what the job we did with Winnie, an indie artist. And now come to examples of well-branded established artists. Wizkid, superstar, effortlessly cool. I always say Wizkid is the superstar of the whole thing. Everything's cool, mysterious. He doesn't shout. He can play around sometimes, but he's a global Afrobeat icon. Caesar, soft chaos. She can just come, and just spark everyone. People will be talking, but it's not too forceful. Black, female, feminine introspection. Like when it comes to topics that really people are like, oh, what do women really want? But to be honest, Caesar understands what women really want and what they don't want, and even questions what do guys want too. That's why some guys listening to Caesar, it's not like this girl understands me. Billie Eilish, anti-pop, anti-brand, authentic, emotional honesty, and she's just organic. She's still giving an upcoming artist that you are loving her progress. With every song and every album she drops, it looks like, oh, I'm following her progress. And on the weekend, the weekend has evolved with different times. I mean, when you listen to House of Balloons, there's a way the weekend was in House of Balloons. There's a way he is in this new project. If you notice that he's gone back, he's killed his. I think he killed the weekend, the character, and then it's Abel. So the different. These artists are well branded. And then the key takeaway from all of this is standing out starts with knowing who you are. Every artist needs clarity, consistency, and creativity. You have to be creative, especially when there's no money. You have to find a way to be creative with your solutions and be consistent. And it's a journey. It's a journey. Understand that it's a journey. Some people, it takes them 10 years. It takes them 10 years. But your journey is not like that. But it's something to build. I mean, when Diamond, for instance, took that I remember he said that he literally borrowed money from a bank to do that collaboration with Davido. He saw that, okay, oh, if I go to this place is popping, let me go get a major cosign from here. In East Africa, they're playing all these guys. How would I connect? How will I matter back home? So let me go and get a cosign from Nigeria. And David literally helped him blow in that. And even while he blew up, he still took that and then he took that and turned it to a big moment for his whole entire industry. And it became a huge deal. And now he has like 3, 4, 5, 6 artists signed under him who are doing amazing numbers. So the artists, remember, aren't just talented. they are unforgettable. So thank you guys. You can follow us follow me at Oreowula Peters across all our platforms, and you can also send an email. I mean, we have different services and all of that that can help you in your journey. From having your certain things like an EPK, a brand guide. A brand guide can help you structure how your brand would look like and all of that. And also we have stuff like a strategy session, a consult session where we can speak to you and help you along your journey. So thank you guys for this opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you so very much. That was very insightful. I don't know about everybody, but I certainly have questions. Please, if you have questions, you can raise your hand. You can also drop the questions in the chat box that we're seeing on the side. How can artists take on a more creative direction role, given that they don't have money to hire someone to do it sometimes? What kind of tips and advice can you give to artists to learn how to take a more creative direction role in their photography and visuals? Yeah.
Okay. So first off, I mean, there are tools like Canva, Pinterest. I'm not going to even lie to you. I've also been there too. I'm not an artist, but like I'm a creative. And I remember it was someone telling me about Pinterest, a friend that was a music video director. She was like, oh, I remember this was for you, the video Tenny and Davido. And she was like, oh, she introduced me Pinterest. Oh, don't worry, you can do the mood board for the video. Don't worry, you do the mood board, you script it. I was like, oh, I don't know anything about that. I mean, I have ideas, but like how do I lay it down? And she made me do it. She introduced me to Pinterest, introduced me. I mean, I knew a bit about Canva, but like she helped me do that. So Canva, Pinterest, we're able to help you communicate and find these ideas. Also ChatGPT is amazing. ChatGPT is a blessing, to be honest. I look at ChatGPT as assistant intelligence. It's not, maybe it's artificial intelligence. It's what you put in that you get out. You treat it, if you treat it like your assistant, I'm this sort of artist, give it some examples, or come up with, it will come up with anything you get. So don't look at it just as a tool. Know how to use it. Give it prompts. It's not that technical. It's like with Canva, with stuff like Canva, InShot and all, InShot, CapCut. I legit just picked it up and then I just started using it because, as I said, people look at it like, as tools, but there's a way that you would use it for yourself. So I'm not so good with like manual stuff like Photoshop and all of that. If I require like more professional help, I would go for like people, graphic designers and all of that. But these three tools I mentioned: Pinterest, Canva, and mentioned the third one. But yeah, this CapCut and all of that. It helps you be able to know how to help your creativity flow. I mean, in regards to mood boarding, when it comes to like photo shoots and all of that, as I said, you have to know what you're trying to achieve with the photo shoot. Don't just go there and like expect the photographer to perform magic. Like I always say, you have struck a match. Like you have to find a way to communicate it to the photographer. People just feel, yes, the photographer and the videographer or whoever is involved in the creative process would help you accomplish your own vision. It's not their vision, it is your vision. Yes, number one, they would now use their own expertise to help shine more light on it. I mean, I can quickly share with you. There's something I quickly share with you. It's called a brand guide, and I would share Winnie's, a bit of Winnie's own, so you just get an idea of what you can do and what this thing entails, and everything I said is not, there wasn't just magic. I actually went through it, but I'll just do a quick share on it so that you can just understand. So this is called a brand guide. Yes. So, and it doesn't have to even be done like this. You can use your Pinterest to select all of these things. Have different collections in your Pinterest. So yeah, personal branding, this was the original document. So it's not like, this was the original document, and this is everything. So first off, your direction, as I said, your sales pitch, the direction that you want to go, your narrative, the genre, the target audience, the case studies, the people. Who are the people? Next, image. this is the image we want to portray. Who are the people that have this same vibe, that have this same, energy? Looks, like I said, what are the type of looks? This was at the beginning, and this thing will evolve to evolve later on. But this is the base, Oh, it was also down to the font. What type of fonts are you looking to? Look at all these fonts align like with what we were talking about, artistic, feminine, and all of that. This will give, because this whole document is so that anybody you're speaking to in that creative ecosystem, could be a photographer, could be a graphic designer, could be videographer, music video director, anybody, you've prepared this document. And I said, you don't have to be, it doesn't have to actually be this particular document. You can do it on Pinterest. Have open a board, and in that board have different collections. So you have one that is for videos, you have one that is for social media content, you have one that is for fonts, and also this was before Pinterest was able to do that. So also this social media, we said it that you should have an organic approach. This is how our photos should be. This is how the layout should be. Amari was someone that was a good reference. So you have this, you have the pictures, you have a particular feel to it, you have a texture to it. You see, we don't say a brown texture to it. Look at it, even the videos, it should include organic content, freestyle videos tailored around that interest. You can see, so it's not like we did magic. It was all here. Do you understand? It was all, we already planned it. You understand? And these things, I mean, you plan, and then other things will come in as we go ahead. We said digital content, how we win fans gradually by building our fan base, making them part of our journey, like our key career moments. I remember there's a video when she performed her first performance. Our first introduction to the industry, performance-wise, was at an event called at X. It was a big art event. Why we decided that particular event, and we hoped and we pitched, and thankfully we were able to get that. And because this is a new artist, though, a new artist that they don't even know. It's not a big artist, but they decided to take that shot on her because they had seen the vision. We had a document like this that we had presented to them to show them the vision, to show them, okay, this is where this artist can be in 2 years, and they knew that we were serious. So yeah, there's a video of her first performance on YouTube. You see media promotional assets, your flyers, your EPK, how should they be? It should be centered around her face, as I said it, so that they can feel close to the artist. Even without knowing anything about her. Photo shoot, we said, oh, look at, she's inspired by the likes of, Rihanna, Tiwa Savage, all of that. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to try and run you through cover art. How do you want your cover art to be like, Oh, as I said, her face, especially her hair and eyes, should always be marketed. If you look at those cover art I showed you in that other slide, you saw how it showed her face and all of that. Next, you see cover art, and yeah, that's a little summary of what that document is about, and that can help you form your own creativity.
Hi, everybody, and an amazing presentation. Really, so much insight. I wanted to know something. This is maybe pertaining to myself as an independent artist. Yes, I think what you've said, really I've taken a lot I've learned a lot from that, and I'll definitely implement in my own journey as a musician and as an artist. But what I wanted to know is, because when I usually go online and I look at different things that people are posting to kind of like, see what is working and what's not working, you find that a lot of people are always centered on advertisement. Like, if you advertise your music, it helps to put your music up in front in the faces of a majority of people, because yes, I have my small fan base, and this has over time really remains stagnant. So I really wanted to know, like, apart from, because I don't have money to kind of like break through that small audience that I have, what other things could I do? Because what you've talked about now, it's more like developing that personality, that image of an artist, becoming what people should recognize you as. But what I want to know is, how can I break through that little wow that I have?
Okay. Like, as I mentioned, I mean, you can, on my page, there's certain things that we did after even communicating. We did some event activations, some community events that was able to interact and build that community. you have this, so you said you have some small fans. Have you been able to meet them? Have you been able to have small shows? Because one person, even if it's 10 people, and I said it doesn't even have to be about the music. They can find a way to connect with you organically. I mean, you can check out another person. You can check out that did something good. Is someone called Johnny Drill. I mean, he's now signed to Maven, but he's not left that formula of finding little small ways to meet with his audience. So you can do that. Oh, someone commented on your people. You've seen someone that usually comments on your post, or as for certain music, you can send like you can make them feel very personal. You can send them, it could be on a mixed version of your song or upcoming release. You can send an upcoming release to them ahead of time, maybe a short snippet or certain things that can make them feel like they're part of your journey, before you go mainstream. Because when you finally hit that, maybe get that viral moment or big moment, everybody's like, okay, does this guy really matter? And then they see like a lot of this guy just came out yesterday, and where's everybody coming? Because of that groundwork that you've done by being very interactive with your audience. There's a way that you have to find a way to build those in small clusters, small ways. Where are your target audience? Where are they? You do it online, you do that online, and then you do it offline. Maybe a small coffee shop. It could be who is your target audience? Let me just start with that. Who is your target audience? Who do you think your music appeals to? The type of who would you say is your ideal listener?
So basically, I think at the moment it's okay, I've never really done like a small show or something like that before, but definitely most of the people that listen to my music are from Malawi. But I think my music is kind of like appeals to the global world, because I usually all my music are usually in English, and it's I don't do like an Afro type. It's more like alternative rock or indie vibe like that.
So do you have friends that mess with your sound?
Oh, definitely. Like I have a lot of audience from Malawi that really love. And what I've been doing so far is going online on TikTok live and talking to them. And I also had this idea of like, okay, the next project that I'm releasing, I want everybody who really digs my music to send me their email. So that's what I'm doing, like a campaign, like send me your email so I can forward you my next song. It's basically going to the people that really like care about my music or really love to listen to my music, rather than just putting it somewhere else and hoping somebody's going to actually listen to it. So it's like a way for me to connect. But I was asking, how do I break through from this group of people and expand?
Okay, so to expand, like I said, you've done that. Now you need to show the strength of, do people really care about your music? You need to show that. So when you do these shows, you have the videos, you have all of that, you're able to put that out. Yeah, you're able to put that out. I'm like, okay, oh, this guy even matters to some people. And then somebody sees that and like, okay, why does this guy matter to some people, to these people? You understand? Okay, there are artists that you don't know that in Nigeria that are selling stadiums. Yes, but guess what? Until you see a video of that, or see evidence, like Burna Boy used to say something. He says, if there's no evidence, like nobody will believe. Nobody will believe you. You'll just be explaining. You just be saying, "Oh, I'm big. I'm a good singer. I'm a good artist." But if you don't see the evidence, nobody is going to believe you. So you need to provide evidence of your growth and your progress. So what you do online, you also have to do it offline. And when you go on TikTok live, are you directing them back to listen to the music? You check how many people listen after this TikTok live. Did they listen? Did the views go up? You get, what can you do the next time you do that TikTok live to direct? Because now it's what you call in business, you call it generating leads. So it's not just awareness. Yes, they know about you, but why should they listen to your music? Did they listen to your music? You understand? You have to point them, call to action. You have to make sure that they listen. You understand? I mean, you don't force them, but you shine the light on that. So I hope I was able to tell, but I mean, you can also follow me. I mean, I talk about these things sometimes. I have a space called The Bigger Picture on Twitter where we talk about things like this. So you can follow that on Twitter. Follow me on one of my platforms, and then we can talk more. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Absolutely. I enjoyed that. Remember, you can follow him on Twitter. He always hosts spaces, and he's also on LinkedIn if you'd like to follow his breakdowns on how you can curate your artistry and your looks and your visuals and everything. So make sure you do connect. I'll share you his socials on our WhatsApp community. But otherwise, thank you once again. Any final words before we log off?
I mean, thank you guys for this opportunity. I mean, I would love to do more. I mean, even if, you know, it's down to being in person, it's something that, because I believe in Africa in general. I believe in the creative industry and what is going on. This is not just only going to be in Nigeria. Yes, and I believe that every country, every people have different things to contribute to the advancement of the world. And I believe that there's so much talent in Africa. We just need to have the confidence to be able to put on a masterpiece. I mean, it's show business. You have to put on a show. So thank you guys. Yeah.
In the next session, we're going to be having Perelade Demanche. She's going to be teaching on the business of live music performances. So please make sure you keep your calendars open for 2 weeks from now. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.